Kabanata 25 Vacation. The time passed like a whirlwind. Abala si Aries sa mga meetings, at kahit naintindihan ko iyon at lagi ko siyang pinapaalalahanan na ayos lang na huwag kaming magkita, araw-araw pa rin kaming nakakapag-usap kahit saglit. He visits me in my office every day in between meetings, and it breaks my heart. I wanted to ask him about how the company is going. Maintindihan niya na ang tanong ko dahil laman na nga sila ng balita. But then I realize he's battling it every day in their meetings. If we talk about it whenever he's with me, he won't have any escape for everything. He has given me solace from my problems, and I wanted to do the same for him. I want him to feel like he's safe with me, na hindi namin kailangang alalahanin ang problema niya, at least kapag magkasama kami. Mom has released her statement. Mas lalong bumagsak ang VHRV at hindi na ako makapaniwala na umabot na sa ganoon. I hope that everything will be fine, kahit pa hanggang tumatagal, lalong lumalala.
Are you ready tomorrow?
He asked. Katatapos lang ng pangatlong meeting niya sa araw at may susunod pa. His meetings these days usually last for 3 to 4 hours. Nakapatong ang baba niya sa balikat ko. Akala ko tulog siya kaya hindi ako gumalaw at nagre-reply na lang sa mga emails gamit ang cellphone. Are you sure we're going? I asked him again. Nitong nakaraan kasi, may trabaho siya kahit Sabado. Tomorrow is Saturday and it's the gala. He didn't really have to go. Pwede namang ipagpaliban lalo na't may emergency sa kumpanya niya. Palusot niya na nakapag-commit daw siya sa event pero pakaramdam ko, dadalo lang talaga siya kasi nandun ako.
You don't want to go?
It's alright. Pwede namang ako na lang para makapagpahinga ka muna o kung may trabaho ka. Inangat niya ang tingin sa akin.
I cleared my day tomorrow. I have no appointments.
Malungkot akong ngumiti. Alam kong marami pa siyang kailangan gawin pero mas inuuna niya pa ito. Aries. He kissed my cheek, but I can only sigh. I know you're busy with the company, and if you're only thinking about me for the gala, then please, no. I don't want to be a bother. You can always support the activity even if you don't appear on the event. Umiling siya.
We're too busy the past few days. I want to make time for you. I miss you.
Kinagat ko ang labi ko. I agree with him, but it's just not time to do this. Obviously, there are more important matters. Nagkatinginan kami. His eyes were determined and I'm sure, no matter how I convinced him, he would never give this up. His mind is made up and nothing could ever keep him from that. Umiling ako habang tinitingnan siya. What's more important for you, Aries? Your work or me? His work is demanding and he has a lot of responsibilities. Not just for their stocks, but also for the thousands of employees of the VHRV. I hope he knows his priorities because I would never make him choose. I will always understand. I know because I've been there. Noong namatay si Daddy at nagkulong si Mami sa kwarto, ako ang tumayo sa kumpanya. Maaga kong natanto kung gaano kahalaga ang trabahong iyon. Kaya naman kahit wala naman talaga akong alam, nagsikap ako. I sought for advisors. I had sleepless nights just to educate myself with all of it, and yet it wasn't enough. Should I be more thankful to the Cortez family for being there and for making Mommy okay again? But you have more important things, Aries. If you are worried about me, I can always bring Lana or something. Not that that girl is available. Her plans were always hopeless. Noong nakaraan ay nagpuntang Hong Kong para sa conference daw kaya hindi na naman natuloy ang ipinangako niyang lakad. I understand though, he has a family to feed. Siya ang breadwinner nila. Hindi na rin ako nagpumilit pa at nakontento sa mga nakakatuwang text at chat namin. Kumunot ang noon niya.
I want to spend time with you, Relanie. And it's okay, alright? I don't have any meeting scheduled for tomorrow.
Malungkot ko lang siyang tiningnan. I don't know if I can be happy or excited though. Masaya ako na magkasama kami buong araw ngayon pero talaga bang tama lang na hinayaan ko siya? Wearing an Annie Schiffer high-slit, light old rose gown, I graced the halls of the venue. Nagkasundo kami ni Ares na susunduin niya na lang ako sa kondo at doon ko iiwan ang sasakyan ko para makapagsabay na kami sa venue. It's a fundraising event to multiple charities. It's attended by the high society and many business tycoons. Mistulang venue na rin ito para magkita ang iba't ibang conglomerate directors and chairpersons. Ares looked dashing in his tux. I realized he looked dashing with anything, but he looks his best in formal. His imposing aura would always be highlighted. He looked more powerful on it.
You're really beautiful,
he whispered when I got out of the car. Ngumiti ako dahil ilang beses na yan ang nasabi sa akin iyon buong araw. Papasok pa lang kami, may media coverage na. Ares didn't stop for any media interviews. I can almost hear the questions from the media around. Tungkol iyon lahat sa bagsak na stocks ng VHRV. I glanced at him but he looked stoic as usual. It was as if he didn't hear anything or he tries to pretend that it doesn't matter. I sighed. Gustong-gusto ko na siyang tanungin tungkol doon pero hindi ako makatiyempo. At ayaw ko rin nang marami siyang iniisip kapag kasama ako. Ares, with Relani de Alba? Papasok na kami nang tuluyan ng narinig ang sinabi ng isang media reporter. I heard her recording her piece immediately. Dahil doon, sunod-sunod agad ang tanong tungkol sa amin. Relani de Alba, right? Someone wanted to confirm. Besides, I never went to events like this and I'm invisible on the social realm, despite being on the top of the pyramid. Is this a sign for possible merging, Miss de Alba? Engineer Riego, the VHRV is losing these days. Ano po ang connection sa pakikipag-date mo kay Miss de Alba? Napakurap-kurap ako at napabaling sa huling narinig na tanong. What? I never thought anyone would ask or even suspect that. Ni hindi ko naisip iyon. Gusto ko tuloy balikan pero hinawakan ako ni Ares sa baywang.
Let's go.
He urged me. I didn't like that question. Giit ko. Hindi ko kailanman naisip na pwedeng mangyari iyon. It's obvious that they are insinuating that I'm dating Ares so he could merge our companies to save his failing VHRV.
That's all right, Relani.
Aniya. Pero Ares... Natigilan kami na nilapitan siya ni Arturo Lopez. Arturo glanced at me for a while before greeting Ares and whispered something to him. Ares nodded and looked at me. Iginaya niya ulit ako papasok pero dumating naman ang mga leviste. Wesley went to Ares but Nathaniel and Geoffrey went to me to greet me. Nawala man saglit sa isipan ko ang tanong na iyon dahil sa batian, alam kong iisipin ko iyon buong gala. Iilang kilala ang bumati sa akin. Dinumog kami ng maraming kakilala at maraming dating kaibigan ko pa. Nakabalik ka na pala. Sabay sulyap kay Ares nakausap ang mga lalaki. Oo. I've met your Kuya Bernard. Nasa loob na siya. Where are your sisters? Unfortunately, the invites are given differently. The bigger the company, the more invites there is. Pareho kaming imbitado ni Mami pero dahil ayaw naman ni Mami, tinanggihan niya ang invitation para sa kanya. The Cortez family has only one invitation for Tito Bernardo and Kuya Bernard comes for him. They run the Cortez Construction Philippines that partners with big companies for the electrical services. Malaki rin ang tulong nila sa kumpanya namin at marami naman silang naglalakihang kliyente. It's just the gala has better ideas for guests. Hindi sila makakapunta. Tanging nasabi ko. We were on the lobby for almost 30 minutes dahil sa maraming nakausap. I even saw Regine, Ares' ex or something. Lumapit siya kay Ares kasama ang ilang kaibigan at casual na bumati. Nang natanaw ako'y tiningnan lang ako mula ulo hanggang paa at hindi na nagtagal pa. Dahil sa tanong ng media, tuwing sinusulyapan tuloy kami ng ilang kilala, napapaisip ako sa iniisip nila. Kinakabahan ako at hindi komportable. Lalo na tuwing natatanaw ko na pagkatapos sumingin sa amin, may bulungan agad. I wonder if people think Ares is using me to save his company or something. At kahit hindi naman iyon totoo, baka pa mas piliin nilang isipin iyon. Anything to please themselves. Mas mabuti kasing isipin na hindi naman talaga mahal ni Ares ang kasama niya at ginagamit lang kaysa sa isipin gustong-gusto ako ni Ares. Lalo na dahil sa ilang mga minsan nang naling sa kanya. Ares was busy talking to more dignitaries inside when I heard someone. Hindi kalayuan kahit pa nasa harap ko ang mga angheles at kinakausap ako. Blakely Ardiente is near the Mercadejas table. Kapag nagkita sila ni Ares, naku, you'd probably see sparks. Nobody can deny it. He's probably just dating the De Alba heiress for the company. Oo nga, forbidden love na ba sila ni Blakely ngayon? Dahil sa De Alba na yan? I heard Beatrice De Alba is like a witch in the business. For sure, this is her plan to climb up to the Riego Empire. I'd like to think that none of it were true, but the last one is kind of... Nilingon ko si Ares at natanaw ang pakikinig niya sa kausap. Today, I'm determined to finally talk about the business. Alam kong sinusubukan ni Ares na huwag kami mag-usap tungkol doon, pero hindi ko nakakayanin ito. Yumuko ako at bahagyaring naapektuhan doon. They think I am keeping Ares away from Blakely. Sinuyod ko ang buong lugar para mahanap si Blakely o kahit ang mama at papa ni Ares, pero natigil ang tingin ko nang si Kuya Bernard ang nakita ko. Nakalapit na siya sa akin at tumango. Sumulyap muna siya kay Ares bago ibinalik muli sa akin ang tingin. Nice job, he said and smirked. Narinig iyon ng ilang naroon. He wasn't discreet with it. I gritted my teeth. Bago pa ako makapagsalita, umamba na siya nga alis at may bilin pa. By the way, we need to talk about the shares you're stealing from me. Kuya, hindi ko na naipagpatuloy dahil si Paul Angeles naman ang kausap niya at lumayo na sila. Are you okay? Dancio asked. Nagpapanik na ako at hindi ko na alam anong susunod na gagawin pero nagsikap akong ngumiti para kay Dancio. I'm fine. He smiled back and nodded, as if nothing really convinced about what I said. I smiled more to convince him, but he only smiled a little. I'm glad you're back. Thank you. I hope you're not too stressed with everything. Hindi naman. If you need help, you can call me. Sure. He chuckled, wearing his tux and with his hair in a clean style, hindi maipagkakaila na marami ring nagkakandara pa sa kanya. But you don't have my number. Oo, wala nga. Sabi ko, sabay angat sa dalang purse para sa cellphone. He took his phone out as well. Sumali pa ang ilang kaibigan pero nauna si Densha na magbigay ng number niya at kumuha ng numero ko. I was looking at his phone and typing his number on mine when Hera Riego appeared in front of us. Nakataas ang isang kilay niya at dala ang purse gamit ang dalawang kamay. She looked at me from head to foot and then Densha. Kinabahan ako. Nakasunod sa kanya si Visarius Riego na may ilang kausap na nakasunod din sa ginang. Ang akala ko, didiretso siya papunta kay Ares, pero tumigil siya sa harap namin ni Dancio at sa iilang kakilala na naroon. Where's Ares? She asked. He's there, ma'am, I said and pointed at Ares talking to more people. Ni hindi nilingon ni Hera ang itinuro ko. Tumingin lang siya sa akin at matagal bago lumiko at dumiretso na sa anak. I cleared my throat and withdrew a bit. So, finally, huh? You and Ares? Si Dancio. I smiled awkwardly and I realized it was such an awkward moment. Yumuko ako kay Dancio at humingi ng paumanhin. I'll sit on our table, Dancio. Pasensya na. He smiled. Not a problem. Nauna na ako sa lamesa. Naroon na si Nicolay de la Vega na supladong nakaupo. Tahimik lang ako at tahimik din siya pero madalas ang sulyap niya sa akin. I am not very friendly and I don't talk first. Isa pa, sa dami ng iniisip ko, hindi ako handa sa isa pa ulit na conversation. Are you bored? Nicolay suddenly asked. I cleared my throat. I'm not sure if I was. Hindi naman. Man, this is boring. I hope this ends immediately. I felt a hand on my back. Mabilis akong lumingon at natanaw na mauupo na si Ares. I'm sorry, there were too many greetings. Are you alright? Napabaling siya kay Nicolay. Napatingin din ako kay Nicolay na nakasimangot, nakatingin sa amin at nakikinig sa usapan. Yup, I'm fine. She might be bored, Ares. If you keep on socializing, I might steal her away from you. Alam kong biro lang iyon pero wala kasi sa itsura ni Nicolay ang pagbibiro. Ares only looked at him smugly. Hindi na pinatulan at naupo na lang sa tabi ko. Hindi niya tinanggal ang kamay na nakaakbay sa likod ko. He even pulled his chair closer to me. At halos sa akin nakaharap ang katawan kahit na nasa ibang dako ang stage. Are you alright? Bored? he whispered so Nikolai won't hear anything. I'm not. I'm just fine, I whispered back. He leaned closer.
Pinastos ka ba?
Kumunot ang noo ko kay Aris at napasulyap kay Nikolai na umiinom na lang sa inumin niya. Nakatingin na sa stage. I shook my head at Aris.
Are you sure? Let's exchange seats.
Aris!
Or just come closer.
But we're already so close.
Sit on my lap then.
Uminit ang pisngi ko at nasisiguro kong pinamulahan na ako ngayon. He smirked and pushed his chair back, then pulled mine closer to him. Para lang mapalayo kay Nikolai. Buti na lang at hindi naman napansin ni Nikolai ang ginawa ni Aris. He'd be offended by that. Aris! I rested my hand on his chest because he's moving closer and closer to me. Nagtaas siya ng kilay at tiningnan ang kamay ko sa kanyang dibdib. Hinawakan niya iyon at bigla akong natigilan. The smug look on his face made me realize what he's thinking. Stop that! Mariin kahit nabulong. He chuckled. What? I got a feeling he'd pull my hand down to his fly and do that move again. Damn him! We're in a formal event, for Pete's sake.
Hindi yata ako ang basta sa ating dalawa. Mukhang ikaw.
He whispered. The program started. It lasted for 2 hours and 30 minutes pero kahit natapos na'y natili ang mga tao para sa isang gabi ng pagtitipon at pakikipag-usap. Marami ang lumapit kay Aris kaya kinailangan niyang tumayo. Hindi naman siya lumayo at naramdaman kong sinusubukan niyang patayin ang usapan.
Let's go,
he said after 5 minutes of talk with some dignitaries. I saw Visarius coming to him with more tycoons, dahilan kung bakit nakuha ulit ang atensyon ni Aris. I sighed and looked at him. Aris glanced at me in between their talk. I'll just go to the restroom, okay? He nodded and watched me go. Matagal bago ako tuluyang nakapunta sa restroom. Marami pang bumati at maraming nagtatanong kung nasaan si Mami. I politely answered and greeted. Kaya naman nang nakapasok na ako sa isang private restroom nila sa ibang palapag, nagbuntong hininga ako. For sure, he donated a lot this year. The De Albascapes is looking so good. Bati noong isa kanina. The Riagos donated more though. That says a lot. Mag-isa ako sa restroom na iyon. Madalas kasing pumupunta sa banda roon ay iyong sa ulo ang hotel at siguro iyong super high profile na kailangan ng mas pribadong restroom. Nagtagal ako roon. I realized that it's an escape from the chaos outside. Nang natapos ako'y lumabas na. The first thing I noticed is Hera Riego standing on the corridor. Mukhang papunta rin sana siya sa restroom. Kinabahan ako at bahagyang nagpasalamat na hindi na kami nagpang-abot sa loob. Tapos na ako kaya alis na. Nakahalukip-kip siya. Her bodyguards are on the corners and she's talking to someone on her phone. Binaba niya iyon at humarap na sa restroom para magpatuloy sa paglalakad patungo roon. Nang nakita ako, bumagal ang paglalakad niya. Bumagal din ang lakad ko at nagpas siya na bumati. It would be weird if I don't greet her anyway. Good morning, ma'am. I chuckled awkwardly. Hindi ako nakagreet kanina. That's because I'm very thoughtless. I never really care much about social niceties and had always been a snob. I regret now why I'm this way. Kung sana ay mas magalang at mas friendly lang ako. Good evening. She stopped and I realized it would be rude if I remained walking, so I stopped too. Humalukip-kip siya at hinarap ako. This is a good timing. Ma'am, hindi ko naitago ang gulat. She smiled without humor. Katatapos ko lang kausapin ng kapatid mo. I noticed something. Si Kuya Bernard. I smiled a bit to hide my nervousness. I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't know what you're talking about. She smiled too. I'm sorry, Iha. I know what's up with you and Aris in the past. That's why I have these doubts with you. I always think people never really change, but I'd like to give you the benefit of the doubt. But it just didn't work. Po? This time, my heart was pounding fast. Parang alam ko na ang sunod na sasabihin niya at wala pa man siyang sinasabi, naninikip na ang dibdib ko. I know what your family is up to. I know that your mother planned all of this out. I know that your finances are purposely reported to be short. You're the officer for that. You must have seen it. At hindi ko alam kung bakit hinahayaan iyon ng anak ko. She shook her head. All your company's financial reports go through him. Pinalagpas niya ang lahat kahit anong reklamo ko. She paused. I have nothing to say. When I tried to say something, she continued. So obviously, you know this plan. Am I right? Nanikip lalo ang dibdib ko. Hindi ko kayang mag-deny, lalo na dahil tama naman siya. Yumuko ako at kinagat ang labi. Am I right? She urged. Ma'am, I know that my mom wants a seat at the VHRV executives. I never agreed to her plans. Never agreed to her plans? Your works for the recent weeks obviously saw the discrepancies. I thought it's normal since... Just tell the truth. Putol niya sa akin. My son is not a toy you can play with. My lips parted to breathe better. Nagbabara na ang lalamunan ko at may sasabihin man, pinipigilan ko ang sarili ko dahil ayaw ko nang umiyak pa. Your brother talked to me to fish for information about the company. Your family has no shame. This is business, yes, and my son probably made some mistakes. He never had mistakes until you came. Kaya tingin ko, nasa iyo ang problema. Isa-isang pumatak ang mga luha ko. Pinigilan ko na nga magsalita para hindi na maiyak, pero hindi pa rin ako nagtagumpay. Mabilis kong pinunasan iyon, hanggang natigilan si Herriego at alam kong nagulat siya sa mga luha ko. Yes, ma'am. I know my family's plan and they are planning to have a seat on the Riegos executives. At gusto ko sanang sabihin ito kay Ares, pero ayaw kong pag-usapan namin ang trabaho. I wanted our relationship to remain as it is, no work involved, and I'd like to believe that, but can you really stand it? His company's failing because of your company? I don't think so. I tried to talk again, but my chest was heaving. I was busy catching my breath. I think you're using my son. Pinatunayan lang iyon ng kapatid mong nagtatanong sa akin kanina. Now tell me, did your family convince you to ask Ares about our latest big project? Hindi ako makapagsalita. Tumango lang ako. See? Pero ma'am, hindi ko naman po siya tinanong. As if that will change anything. His records was clean, always successful and an achiever in anything. He was never rushed and he always worked using his head. What did you do to him? Kitang-kita ko ang pamumula ng mga mata niya at may luha na rin nagbabadya roon. Tumango ako at napapikit. Pilit kong inilagay ang sarili sa sitwasyon niya at agad na naintindihan iyon. I know, because I am very possessive. I will never forgive anyone who would try to fool a loved one. And after this, appearing with him in an event like this, do you really think it will do him good? Hindi lang sa business ang magiging problema niya. You will put him in so many controversies, something that he isn't used of. Now, do you really think I'd believe you if you tell me that you love him? Parang tinarakan ng punyal ang puso ko sa sinabi niya. I looked at her, almost begging her to stop it, but I understand. Tumango ako at pilit na kinalma ang sarili. I understand, ma'am. I'm sorry. You understand what? Her eyes narrowed. Why you're feeling this way and why you're doing this. I know. I nodded. I fooled him before, and you think I'll fool him again. No explanation will convince you otherwise. Humikbi ako. Natili siyang nakatingin. Namumula ang mga mata at determinado pa ring ipagdiinan sa akin ang kasalanan ko. I smiled weakly. If I were in your shoes, I'd probably do worse. If I had a son like him, an achiever and very successful, I'd look out for him and do worse for any woman who will try to fool him. So, I nodded. I understand. She shifted a bit and tilted her head. I smiled more even through the tears. Don't worry, ma'am. I'll end it with Ares tonight. Excuse me. She called me but I was determined to go. Mabilis kong pinalis ang mga luha at pinilit na umayos. Hindi ko gustong magkaroon pa ng komosyon kung pumunta ako sa hall ng luhaan, hinahanap si Ares. I was about to enter when I saw him talking to Blakely from where I was standing. Natigilan ako at mas lalong naramdaman ang sakit. I realized I've been so selfish na ang totoo, hindi ko siya gustong kausapin tungkol sa trabaho dahil natatakot akong magkaproblema kaming dalawa. I am siding with him, but can I really deny my mommy? I want to tell him about my mom's plan, but he'd always assure me that he's alright. I convinced myself that I shouldn't talk about work with him, Because our relationship must be out of that. Hindi rin naman siya nagtanong, pero tama ba talaga ang mga ginawa ko? Umatras ako at naglakad palayo. I plan to exit on the back door instead, to not cause any commotion. Natigil ako nang natanaw si Hera. Sumunod pala siya sa akin. I smiled a bit and wiped away the fresh tears on my cheeks. Ma'am, he's with Blakely Ardiante. I don't want to bother them, so I'm sorry. Pakisabi na lang po na umuwi na ako. At ang tungkol sa pinag-usapan natin na may plano nga ang pamilya ko na kunin ang kumpanya nyo. Napasinghap siya. And that I know about the plan. I just didn't tell him. Hindi siya nakapagsalita. I'm sorry for asking this too, ma'am. But I don't think I can face him again. So please tell him that I'm breaking up with him. My voice broke on the last words. Alam ko nakakahiya at binigyan ko pa siya ng trabaho. Pero alam ko rin na masaya siya roon. She'd be willing to pass Ares that message. And she would agree that I shouldn't bother Ares and Blakely. She wanted Blakely for Ares anyway. Thank you. Nagmadali na ako palabas. Nanginginig ang kamay kong mag-text sa driver namin, pero alam kong matatagalan pa iyon. I took a cab. Iyon kasi ang madali at mayroon na sa labas mismo ng hotel. I only transferred halfway. Nakasakay na ako sa SUV namin at tuluyan nang nakauwi. It's already 10. Nakadim na ang ilaw sa bahay. Ibig sabihin, walang meeting sa study at conference room. I'm glad though. I don't think I can face mommy in this condition. I wiped away my tears and slowly climbed the stairs. Gusto kong matawa. Kahit pag-aano ako kapossessive at mapangangkin kay Ares, kayang-kaya ko nga siyang bitiwan kung kailangan. Then I slowly realized that as of now, he's the only good thing in my life. I'm tired. It would be nice to have him. He always picks me up. But now, I have to deal with everything myself. Binuksan ko ang pintuan ng kwarto ko at pagod na nilapag ang bag sa kama. Naupo ako roon at unti-unting hinubad ang stilettos. I turned off my phone while I was inside the taxi. I didn't want to talk to anyone but Ares. I started to pull the zipper of my gown. Nahihirapan pero kaya ko namang gawin iyon mag-isa. I was about to remove my top when I heard a movement near my walk-in closet. What the hell? I screamed when I saw Tito Bernardo in the dark. Mabilis akong umatras. Ibinalik ko rin ang suot pero tumakbo siya palapit sa akin at sinubukan akong pakalmahin. Calm down, Iha, okay? He raised his hands like a surrender. Mabilis kong nakuha ang naiwang Swiss knife sa cabinet malapit sa pintuan. My door was locked. The multiple locks didn't help me this time. Lumapit ka pa! Sasaksakan kita! Walang hiya ka! I screamed. Iha, what are you talking about? I'm just visiting. Sabay tawa-tawa niya. I frantically removed my locks. Nakatutok sa kanya ang Swiss knife habang ginagawa iyon. Sinusubukan niyang lumapit. Iha, alam ni Beatrice na pupunta ako dito. Hinihintay kita para masabi sa'yo ang tungkol sa shares na kahapon lang ay ipinangalan ko na sa'yo. I don't care about your damn shares! I screamed and immediately got out after unlocking the door. Nakagown pa ako nang tumakbo ako patungo sa kwarto ni Mami. I saw Tito Bernardo behind me, walking fast. Nakita kong wala si Mami sa kwarto at kinabahan ako lalo. Dumiretso ako sa study at laking pasasalamat na naroon si Mami. Mami only bowed and looked at me through her glasses. The party's done? Nakauwi na si Bernard. Mami! Tito Bernardo is in my room! It's the middle of the night and I'm trying to remove my gown! Pumasok si Tito Bernardo at agad kong itinuto kay Tito ang Swiss knife na dala. Huwag ka lalapit sa akin! I screamed at him. Iha, what the hell are you doing? I explained to her that I waited para makausap siya tungkol sa... Shut up! I don't believe you! Mami, do you really believe him? Nakatago siya sa dilim. Tahimik lang. Hindi man lang ako binati para ipaalam na naroon siya. Nagtatago siya, Mami. At kung hindi ko pa narinig ng kaunti, may kita niya akong naguhubad. Well, I was shocked. Nakatulog na ako ng kaunti tapos hindi ko alam na dumating ka. Nakatulog ng nakatayo? Fuck you! I don't believe you! And why do you think it is okay to stay in my room? I'm just your stepdaughter, damn it! You're not my real father! Melanie! Si Mami na umalingaw-ngaw ang boses. Nilingon ko si Mami at halos magmakaawa na paniwalaan niya ako. It was precisely then when I realized how hopeless my life has been. Everyone would probably think that I have a perfect life. I have family and we're rich. I am dating or I dated Ares Riego. But this is the truth. I am not for Ares. My family sucks and my life is hell.
How dare you talk to your Tito Bernardo that way? Nababaliw ka na! Huwag kang mang-aakusa ng ganyan nang walang basehan! At isa pa, Iha, mahal na mahal ka ni Tito Bernardo mo!
Naibaba ko ang Swiss knife na dala sa pagkakadismaya sa narinig sa kanya. Ma'am, I told you someone is trying to open my door back in the US, and then now we're here. Ganoon pa rin. It's the reason why I have so many locks. And now, Ma'am...
At bakit? Hinawakan ka ba niya? Hinalikan o ginalaw?
Namilog ang mga mata ko. Mabilis ang buhos ng luha ko.
Hindi ba? He's your stepfather, for God's sake! And he has transferred the 40% of his shares to your name. Your name, Relanie, not his son or his daughters. That's how much he loves you!
Nanghihina akong tumingin kay Mami. Lumapit si Tito Bernardo sa kanya at hinalikan siya. Tito Bernardo smirked and looked at me.
Iha, tama ang mami mo. Please calm down. I love you so much. See? What else do you need? I can give everything to you.
This is fucking hopeless.
Bakit hindi ka maupo na lang muna at mag-usap tayo? Hindi maganda ang reaksyon ni Bernard tungkol sa shares. He'll retaliate. Sinagot niya ang tito mo kanina at ganoon din ang kambal. We must do something.
I can't take this. I need a vacation. I said, convinced now that I have no other way to do this.
What? At this time, Iha? Huwag muna.
You have a lot of future.
I don't need your approval. I'm leaving.
Sabi ko at mabilis na umalis.
Relanie! I said no! Don't do this!
Those were the last words I heard from Mommy dahil hindi na ako nagtagal. Pagkatapos hubarin ng gown, nagsuot lang ng kahit anong jeans, isang t-shirt at sapatos, kinuha na ang purse ko at umalis na sa bahay. I took my car out of the village and continued driving with no tears and no regrets. Palapit na sa Quezon City na napansin ko ang napakaraming SUV na sumusunod. I saw Kuya Bernard's car on the side. Kinabahan ako. Mabilis kong pinaharurot ang sasakyan. Naalala ko na race car driver si Kuya at siya nga ang nakahabol sa akin. He almost blocked me so I turned. Naiwala ko siya ng isang beses pero agad ding nahanap. Sa huling beses kong naiwala siya, muntik na akong nabangga sa itim na SUV sa isang eskinita. I stopped my car and left it there. I ran away but I saw another SUV parking. Bumaba ang ilang nakaitim na lalaki at ang ilan doon ang bodyguard ng mga Cortez. Nagtago ako sa sulok at kadiliman. I'm petite so it's easier hiding.
I repeat, dukutin lang at huwag patayin. Nagbago ang order ni Mr. Cortez. Dukutin lang daw. Ano? Putang ina. Pero pwedeng saktan. Baka magpumiglas yun.
My eyes widened when I realized that Kuya Bernard wants me kidnapped or dead. What the hell? My tears pulled when I realized more. Naupo ako sa pinagtataguan habang naririnig ang paglayo ng mga tauhan ni Kuya Bernard. My family wants me dead. My mother doesn't believe me. My stepfather wants to arrest me. Everyone probably wants me gone for their sake. Riego, Blakely, Ares needs me gone. Matagal bago ako umahon. I wiped away my tears. Despite everything, I am still determined to do the next steps of my plan. I can't give up. So what if they think that way of me? So what if everything seems hopeless? I will rebuild my life, this time for myself.